Welcome to Wisconsin's Northwoods, Northern Highlands American Legion State Forest, and Firefly Campground. Let's get the full tour. It's not a small one. It's got lots of different loops to get through. We are pretty much right across from Crystal Lake and Muskego Lake over there. Those big campgrounds. We'll see if these are similar or different. And there are lots of trails that will connect you between all of them. So on my little journey from my campsite over one of the others to here, Google tried to take me down a bike path. It doesn't know that the bike paths, because they were probably very well traveled, are not roads. The one thing I can tell you for sure that's different about this campground over the other one, besides this has the better shower house. Rather than having the men's side and the women's side, this has individual family showers if you want it. In this one, this is a more Wisconsin DNR spec, newer Wisconsin DNR spec kind of shower house. So you have your own private rooms. The other thing before I get into the map is this is a much more wooded site, and I'm already experiencing a lot more mosquitoes. The hat is on not because of the sun, but because I just got to keep the bugs off my head. So let's take a look at the map, figure out how we're going to do this. Looks like we start out with 201 over here. I'm up here right now. So I'll come over here, I'll do that loop, come back somehow, and then I'm going to try to do these numbers in order. So I'll do it in those sections. So basically there are 70 sites in this campground. That's quite a few. And in conjunction with the neighbors, we've got about 240 sites together just within a very short drive here. And you go a little more, like 15-20 minutes out, you start adding some more of these state forest campgrounds. These three here in the cluster all have the shower houses, so they're a little more higher amenities, but none of the campsites out here have power. So that is one of the things you drop off. So I just wandered by other campground host this one. Some of the campgrounds call it a resident manager. If anybody knows what the difference is, please comment down below because I'm really curious. Now, all of the sites here are reservable. All of the sites within the Wisconsin State Forest and the whole Wisconsin state system are now reservable. Going to Camp Wisconsin, search for your campground, and you're looking for the campground, you have to first go to the Northern Highlands American Legion State Forest. Then you'll have northern section, southern section. Currently I'm in the northern section, and then there'll be a cluster for 3 campgrounds that include Firefly. And then once you get there, you pick the Firefly one, and then you can zoom in on your individual sites. All reservable up to 11 months in advance, or day of if you want. I think there's a 14-day stay limit on these. Let's get started. All right, 201 is our first one. It's long and deep. It's not perfectly level, but not bad. 202, 203, a pair you reserve together for friends. And they managed to pull theirs in the backwards way. They make these so you can actually turn around if you need to. 204 over here. Nice long flat site. 203, now we're on the water side. Really wide site. 206 on the wooded side. Fairly deep. There's a lot more room, but the firing's on the right. 207. This one is wide open out to the lake there. Really nice site. There are a lot of roots behind that tree to make it unlevel. 208 over here. Nice big long site. Not one of the biggest, but still very large. 209 on the lakeside again. Very wide site. Has a bench looking out at the lake. 210. Another really long site. You can get just about anything in that length, no problem. 211, not quite so long. They got their trailer about as back as you can go and have to move the vehicle to the side. 212 is much longer than that. Okay, 211 is the last one on the loop that is on the water, and we are in luck. It is empty, so we can wander down and take a look. Nice big space, lots of side space over here for a screenhouse and tents, or your boat if you need it, or your trailer, because you might be able to just beach down here. Now, like all the others, there is a trail that is full access to anybody. So off the back of your site is public space. You only have up to a certain point, and then this is shared space down here. Nice little sandy beach on the lake, and it's not a very big lake. All right, forgot what our numbering is. They've covered up the number, and I just realized I have to go back to my site because I left my flag. Oh, yeah. All right, it's the first one off the corner. They still have trails that go down to the water. Quite a bit of room there. Okay, last site was 214. This is 215. Not one of the biggest ones. This one's sort of a mid-sized depth. Don't take anything too big into here. We've got a trail coming through here. And 216. This one is much bigger than the last one. Bigger rigs, no problem in here, and plenty wide. No fancy maneuvering required. 217, what you see there is about as big as you can get in here. There is some extra space beyond him on the other side. 218. It's got a decent depth. If you go straight back, scoot the table over, or you could hook around the corner if you wanted around that tree. Not one of the biggest, but not, I'd say this is still, these are all fairly large sites. 219. Good bit of room right here. Not one of the longest ones, but still fair size for most uses. Really nice tent area over there. I got a pair of vault toilets. I think someone said these are maybe slated to go away in the next couple of years for newer ones. 220 on the right. Huge site. This one is anything will fit in here, and it is flat. 221, very large site. Not quite as wide as the last one, but you got a little space hooked around to the side. 222 over here next to the vault toilets is an accessible site. Not as accessible as the one by the shower houses. And then you have 223 and 225 are a pair of sites you book together. 224, again, a very long site. Lots of room. Not an official site anymore. Maybe they'll let a bike camper come in and just roll in. And that's the first 25, which is the first third of the campground in this loop. And we'll go walk on over to the middle section and see what those are like. Out here on the mid drive that now connects me to the other two sites, there's Campground Host over here, and next to it would be the accessible site with the paved trail that takes you over to the bathhouse. Nice and long, fairly wide. It's a little narrow getting in here. All right, the first in the set is 226 and 227 over here, which is a pair of sites. Hopefully they have friends coming. They pulled forward in, and a great little screen house. I like that attachment. 228 over here, pretty deep, lots of width to the side. There is a tree right behind where that camper is. 229 with a truck camper over here. Quite a bit of depth here. Not a problem with almost everything in there. 230 over here, a little narrower. It opens up back there. Still plenty of room. A little up and flat. 231 here, very deep. Plenty of room for the rig and the vehicles in front of it, and room to the side. 232 is massive. Plenty of room to get in. You may want to hook it if you want to get all the way back there, but lots of room. 233, again, huge, goes way back there to that tent. That's a long distance back. Lots of room. Okay, 234, hope you can see it through the woods. I got room for a whole another vehicle and a half in front of the truck, and then the trailer, and then a whole screen house off to the side. They're all this big and this flat. 230, 235, plenty of room back there, huge amount of space off to the side. 236. This one actually gets some light coming in here too. It's so big and open. That's a nice space. There's roots over here around the tree. May make it hard to level off. Now just past 236, we're on the end cap of the loop and we hit the park beach area here. Let's check this out. So beautiful pine floor here. We're not talking beach, sandy beach, but you can definitely come down here. Once you get down here, it is a sandy bottom lake. It drops off fairly quick here. Plenty of benches and picnic tables down here. Just a very pleasant little spot, which means nobody on this loop has waterfront access directly. It's all shared with everybody else. And this is the third set of stairs down to the water. And it's like as soon as you're over that last lip, you're in the water and on the sandy beach. 237 here. Very wide side, but you got a tree to dance around. And it's very rooty over to the right there. 238 over here. Nice big flat large site. 239, deep, big site. Just gotta watch out you don't nick the tree like the last guy did. But there's a ton of room in here. What's interesting is they have all these beautiful posts that used to have your tag. You don't do your tags anymore. You just hang your own personal sign on them. And they're kind of nice because when you hang your sign, you still see the number. 240. Really long and deep. There is a series of roots that may throw off leveling back there. 241, another very long site with roots on the right hand side. 242 goes back, hooks at the tree and continues on. You can kind of see the tents now after you get past that tree. 243, lots of space in here. Nice straight back, but you could also go over to the side if you wanted. 244, you can see the big fifth wheeler in there, vehicle, and the greenhouse off to the side. Plenty of space in there. Nice straight back. 245, 247, double space, plenty of room to turn around and have your two RVs facing each other that way. 246, straight back to where the picnic table is straight back. There's a little hook you could reline, but you got this whole cluster of trees over on the left. But still, plenty of room to work with. And then that brings me back out to the camp post. I'm going to head down the road, past the bathhouse, and then I'll do the last third of this campground. Okay, the last loop was 226 through 247. This is next loop will be 248 through 270. All right, 248. Really wide site. The depth is here, not over here. But something shorter and all the room in the world over there. 249 over here. Not the longest one, but decent length. 250 over here. They've chosen to stick the vehicle to the side, mainly because they have room on the side. But there's a ton of room wrapping around behind those bushes. I'm hoping I'm just hearing a breeze and not rain coming. 251, really long. It does hook it around to the side if you want to use your full RV space or have a ton of camping space. And right now I'm smelling bacon. 252 over here has got a family in there, so I'm moving on. Pair of vault toilets across from there. 253 on the other side. Quite a bit of space in there. Sometimes the tents just seem lost. 254. This one is not perfectly level. This is one of the least level sites I've seen, but where the camper is level. A little slope that way, but you have to kind of go up to where the table is. 255, also climbing up to where the truck is, and then it's pretty level. 256 lengthwise, they're crammed in here, barely got room for their slide before they hit a tree. Let's see what they have for space on the side. Quite a bit of space to the side of the camper. 257, you can see they're backed up to a tree over here. So they got taken up all the space they can. A ton of room off to the side, but just, I mean, you'd have to park your truck acrosswise here. Water pump across the way from that. 258, a lot more room than the last two, and I think they still have room left behind. So plenty of room in 258 for whatever you want to drag in here. You may have to do a little tree trimming right at the entrance, but not too bad. All right. Okay, now this stretch over here is against the water. 258 is open, so I'm going to go see what that path offers down there. Not the longest site. We got the trees stopping you there. A ton of room over here, though. After a little ways down, hit the path along the lake. It's chipmunks. And your own little sandy beach back here. Well, not your own, but you share it with the neighbors. $260 on the inside. Quite a bit of space, but you'll have to hook around a corner like they did if you want to take advantage of all of it. 261, straight back, lots of room. Trailer, vehicle. 262 on the inside. You got the tree to dance around there. Lots of room over there, or straight back if you want. Depends on your maneuverability. Or a great flat tent site with hammock trees. $261 over here. They didn't go all the way back. There's still plenty of room behind them. Easy beach access. Getting packed up, ready to go, I think. See all the space to the side there. 264 is a huge site. There's a stump over here just to watch out for, but that's probably low enough to clear a slide over it. Lots of width once you get back in here. 265, you can see what's fitting in there, and then some trees, and then your table and fire ring, and it looks like room for another trailer. 266, ton of room, plenty of room to play there. 267, 268, a pair of sites. book them together, share with a friend, and this can handle a big rig back in here. And like the other ones I've seen, you can turn around, pull through there, back up your other rig here, and have the doors facing each other and have your big patio in between and your own lake access back there. 269 here, long stretch back there before you hook in to get where he is. Lots of room to play around in there, all very flat. 270 here on the end, one of the last ones that has its own path back to the lake. Really long site, very wide, easily put 2 vehicles side by side in here, and vault toilets just down the path. All of these sites are really spread out. You're not on top of each other, even with the big rigs, unless you want to be in the pair sites. But even those, in a pair site, you've got room to spread out. So you are not on top of each other. These are very spacious sites, mostly very flat, and lots of room between you and your neighbors. Another really nice advantage here is even in the inside loops, you're never backed up to another site. There's always plenty of room. The space between one loop and another is massive. It's like its own campground in each section. So there is a ton of room to spread out here. Feel like you're out in the woods. Well, you are out in the woods. Never-ending trees. And not feel like you're crowded in anymore. So that's my tour of Firefly Campground in Northern Highlands, American Legion State Forest in northern Wisconsin. It is a mouthful, just like all the other ones that I've covered in this tour, which means I have a playlist here of all the campgrounds in the Northern Highlands, American Legion State Forest that I've toured so far. And I think so far this is 13. So check those out, see all of them. Pick your perfect site for you. There are different kinds. Some are more family oriented. Some seem like they're more just the older RV crowd, retirees. Some are people who want to have an isolated tent site. There are a few of those out there. So check them all out. And there'll be a playlist over here of all of the National Forest parks, campgrounds that I've done as well. So thanks for coming along on this little trip. Hope you got something out of it. Find your perfect site. Get on out there and watch out for deer while you're here.